Welcome, everyone. I am Katie Kramer with Tomorrow's Technology Today. Today, we're going to be talking about Microsoft Outlook and all the cool tips and tricks that are built into this application. I am going to record this webinar and it will be available on our website after the broadcast. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is your email signature. And basically, we've kind of built ours so that we have a lot of information built into just the signature itself. So we went and we put in our logo. We also put in our picture, and then we have our name, title, company, phone number, email, address, our website. And then something new that we just added is doing the bookings link. So if you click on our little JPEG there, it's going to take you out to our bookings calendar, and you're able to book time with us if we're one of the people that a lot of the clients work with. So pretty handy tool to have. And all you have to do is just go into signatures and stationery, and you're able to build out your signature there. From there, you're also able to tell it if you want to put it on new messages. So you can have different signatures for new messages, and then you can also have different signatures for replies and forwards as well. Use Office in dark mode. So this is something that I just switched to, and it's been a lot easier on my eyes. And when you switch it, you can also do it through all of your Office applications. So rather than having that very white, bright background, you're able to go in and you can tell it to use either the dark gray, black, you can have something colorful, or you can also tell it to use a system setting, and that's what it's set to for Windows 10. So a new feature that Microsoft just rolled out is the translation feature. So this is going to be a tool that you can use to translate words, phrases, and full messages. And then you also have the option to automatically have it translate when emails come in. So all you have to do is go to File, Options, Language, and from there you can tell it what you want it translated into. Grammar and style suggestions. So I love this. I love that Outlook is now able to pick up if you are asking a question. Here you can see in this example that availability, they're just asking a question. So it's noting that, hey, do you want to change this to a question mark? So really nice to have. You can also have Outlook talk to you. So Microsoft's Cortana productivity assistant. So if you haven't tried this out, this is a pretty cool tool that all you have to do is go on your message tab and then select read aloud. From there, I think there's 3 different voices that are built in, and then you can also adjust the speed for how fast you want it to read your email to you. So when you do this, it's going to read through every part of the email message. So it'll start at the top and it'll read every line. So even like the BCC, all those different fields that are entered into it, it's going to read everything to you. It is a nice time saver though for when you need to be hands-free and you need to just listen to your messages and get caught up for the day. Share your calendars. So this is something that's been around for a while, and this is great if you have different shared calendars or if you have just sharing calendars amongst your staff members within your office. So you're able to give different rights to different people. So if you want someone just to be able to edit your calendar, or if you want them to be able just to view it, you can do whatever variety works for you guys. But it is nice when someone else can manage your calendar and help you keep up to date with the running your business. Take advantage of the scheduling assistant. So I love this tool because this is really nice for a lot of meetings, and I do a lot of project management for us. So I'm able to go in, and if I need to get people lined up within our office, if I don't have access to their calendar, it's just going to block it out as busy. So here you can see I used Amy as my example. So I had to just put her in as a required attendee. And here I can see when she's got time blocked out that she's busy with other things. So then I'm able to kind of line up a better chance of getting everyone together to have a meeting. There's also the option to do the tracking feature that will tell you when someone has accepted your meeting, and that's going to be if you're the meeting owner. So at mention someone. So this is also available in Microsoft Teams. So we use it quite a bit for that, but you can also use it in Outlook. So when you do this, it's going to have it on the message that someone at mentioned you, and you can do that to the person as well. So rather than just doing the, hey, Joe across the office, you can do it from your email and just do, hey, whoever, and it'll show up in their email account that they've been tagged. So you can do blackout time where you can set it to do not disturb. So this is something kind of nice that if you need some quiet time, like early in the afternoon or when you get in the morning, you can set Outlook so that you're not constantly being notified of emails coming in. It'll kind of um, it'll still receive those emails, but you're not going to get notified, if you have the ding or if you get the little message down at the bottom of your screen. So kind of nice to have. This is another one of my favorite tools within Outlook is the don't forget to attach a file. So Outlook is smart enough to catch on to keywords that if you have like attached or attachment or see the file, different words like that, it's going to, before you are actually able to send it out of your outbox, it's going to say, hey, did you mean to attach a file? And you can go back and you can add your file to it if you forgot to do that before you hit send. So initially, when Outlook was pushed out, they would go through and they would kind of notify you if you had different events or reservations that were in your inbox, and it would add it to your calendar. So now you're able to take that message and you can drag and drop it into your calendar, and it's going to grab all those details. So like your flight or different hotel reservations, things like that, that you need, like all the information from it, it's going to take it and it'll add it to that calendar event. So the conversation feature is something that was new in Outlook where you could take everything and it would kind of bundle it up based on the subject of the email. So now, if you don't want to be on all the back and forth, let's say we have 10 people on an email and those 10 people are really good about passing that email back and forth and having that whole conversation in an email rather than just scheduling a meeting to talk about it. You can also tell it that you just want to ignore the conversation. So if you just click on one of the messages, right click and click on ignore, that's going to bring up this little box and it's just going to move that conversation to your deleted items folder. Then that way you don't have to sit there and listen to everybody going back and forth for something that you might not be real interested in. Leave your worries on Outlook about missing a vital message. So this is a really nice tool to have that you can create a rule. So let's say that the email reminder that we get from Lisa right before the webinar starts. Here you can see that I can tell it who I want it sent from and then how I want to be notified when something comes in. So let's say every time Lisa sends a message, I want to get notified. I can just click on the from Lisa Niekamp Irwin and I can tell it, yes, play a selected sound, and that way I don't miss any emails coming from my boss. Same is true with doing automatic colors. So if there is a certain subject or someone that's sending you emails, you can tell it, make it bright red when it comes from, let's say, Lisa, or a certain client that you want to make sure you never miss their emails. You can go in to the view settings and conditional formatting, and that's going to bring up this box and you can tell it how you want that message to be highlighted. So another new feature from Outlook is the cleanup folder. So this is kind of nice to have when you have all that conversation going back and forth, that you can tell it that you want all of those maybe unread messages moved to a certain folder. You can go in, you can create that folder, and then you can add it in here and you can tell it anytime that I get this kind of message, just automatically move it to this folder. That way you still have it if you need it for reference, but you don't have to sit there and look at everything as you go. So, of course, since Outlook is a Microsoft product, they're going to use the Windows look to it. So you can have all your different emails set up using the like the pop-out box. For holiday schedule, so by default, Microsoft built in, I don't know how many different countries, but you can go through, let's say that you work with a certain vendor out of Germany, you can add the German holidays to your calendar. Then that way you know when your vendor might be out of the office, and that can kind of help you with some of your planning as well. So this is kind of a cool trick that I didn't know until I was doing research for this webinar, but you can do sticky notes within Outlook. So if you do Control Shift N, that's going to give you just a little post-it note and you're able to just save it as a file. But then that way, as you're going through your email, you can create notes for yourself. and then just save them onto your desktop, and then that way you have it for quick reference. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, we'll just keep going. So, hi, Peggy.
Sorry. So,
Okay,
I get my head in the computer doing something else and just
no,
don't
no,
get it from here.
that's okay. We're about halfway through, so I will just go back through and follow up with you when this is over, if that's okay. Okay, sounds good. So of course, Microsoft cares about your security and marking those junk mail messages. So you're able to go in and you can tell it from home and then go to junk mail or junk email options. And you are able to set it by domain or you can set it by subject and you can tell it that you just want those to automatically go to your deleted items folder. So another nice thing that you can do with your calendar is you can add 2 time zones. So that's going to allow you, as you work with people throughout the country or you're counting on certain vendors, you are able to add in their time zones. So when you are scheduling, let's say scheduling a meeting with somebody, you're able to see, if you're scheduling something for 6 o'clock in the morning, even though it's 9 o'clock our time on the East Coast, um, just kind of as a courtesy. So the search function. So this has been recently updated. So now up at the top of your Outlook screen, in this example, I typed in Lisa. So here I'm able to tell it if I want to search in my current mailbox or if I just want to search in like my sent folder, if I'm looking for a certain attachment, what it contains, who it's from, maybe a keyword within the body of the message that I recall, it's about a certain client or a certain product. I can type it into here and I can click on search. That's going to populate all the results that have like those certain keywords or perhaps someone that it was sent from. Desktop alert. So this is kind of along the same line as the do not disturb, that you can have the desktop alert, which is great, but it can also be extremely distracting. So if you want to turn it off, you can go to options in your mail and then go to disable display a desktop alert option, or you can also have it set that you can have it play a notification as well. Manually mark messages as read. So this was something that I thought was kind of annoying when Outlook first started, that it would automatically, if you had your mouse on it, it would automatically mark it as read. You're also able to turn that off if you don't like that, or if you leave it on, but just go to options and mail to the reading pane and then disable mark item as read when selection changes. So, and then from there, you're also able to tell it what kind of options that you want it set to, or like here, by default, it tells you it's going to wait 5 seconds. You can change it to 30 seconds if you want, or whatever works for you if you do want it to mark it as read. Keep a decline meeting. So if you know about a meeting that maybe your colleagues are attending and you're not able to make it and you still want to know when the meeting took place, before you send the decline, you can go through and you can copy paste it and still put it within your calendar. And then that way you can keep a copy of the meeting invitation and you can know who attended and what the meeting was about. And then just decline the meeting if you don't want to go or if you aren't able to go. So out of office, so um, you can tell it to automatically turn on automatic replies. So if you're going to be out of the office for a certain time frame, you can tell it to only send during this time. And you can customize your message for people inside of your organization and also for people outside of your organization. So if you want the message to be different, you can do that in here and then just tell it when you want the message to send. Change the default email font and size. So if you don't like Microsoft's standard black small font, you can go through if you want to make it bright blue and make it bold so that it stands out and it's unique to you. You can go into the signatures and stationery and you can tell it what kind of font you want to use. That way that kind of makes you also stand out a little bit from maybe your competitors, that they know that the bright blue font emails are coming from you. increase the font size while reading mail. So this is nice to have. And once you set it within one email, it's going to go across all of your different uh, emails. So if you click on Zoom, you're able to tell it, you can customize the size. I think by default it's set at 100%. So once you set it to, let's say 200%, it's going to keep that until you change it back. So as you're going throughout your email during the day, if you want to change it back down, you can. But that makes it really nice and a lot easier to read sometimes, especially too as these screens get smaller. It's nice to have the text a little bit bigger. Save an email as a file. So I like this about Outlook, that if you want to attach that email to someone else rather than forwarding, you can go through and you can do a file save as. So now you can either attach it to another email, or if you just want to keep it for reference, you can do that too. And then just select tell Windows where you want it to save and it'll save it there. So Microsoft has been big on helping us be more productive. So the Insights is available on your home screen. And if you just click on Insights, it can tell you plan your time away, want more focus time during the day, prepare for your meetings. It's noted here, I have 2 meetings today and I have 6 next week. So it kind of helps you block out some time and make you more productive. Quick steps. So I love this about Microsoft too, that you can go through and you can create new quick steps. So let's say that you want to send an email to a certain group of people. You can go through and, like I did one for Mercer County Fair, and I went through and I added our contact people within Mercer County Fair. So now when I just click that Mercer County Fair button for the quick step, that's going to bring up a new email message, and then I'm able to go ahead and start typing my message to that group. And there's a lot of different options that you can do with that. That's also, it's kind of like the macro version. If anyone's used macros in Excel before, that it's like the macro version for email. So email templates, this is also something that is a huge time saver. So if you find yourself sending the same email over and over again, and maybe it's got like a certain attachment that you use, you can go through and you can do a template. So just go to create your document and just use the new email. Go through, create your document. If you need to attach anything, you can do that. Then do the file save as template. And then when you want to use it, you're going to use the new items option and go to more items and then choose form. And then that look in, make sure that that matches wherever you save it to. So in this example, this just has my little demo email template, and then I saved it in the user templates in file system, and there's my document. So if I open up that demo email, all I have to do is populate who I'm sending it to, and off it goes. So super simple to use, and that's quite a big time saver. Tracking. So if you like to see, if you like to get that red receipt, this is where you're going to go in your options, and you can tell it if you want to get a delivery receipt from people when they've read your email. Keep in mind though that if they're also an Outlook user, they have the option to not send the reply or the red receipt to you. Recall sent mail. So sometimes this can be a lifesaver and can save some embarrassment. That if you say, if you accidentally send something and you left out your message that you wanted to send, if they're also an Outlook user, you can recall that message. And to do that, you're just going to go into your sent box, select the message that you just sent, go to more move actions and recall this message. If they haven't read it yet, it'll let you recall that message. You're able to add in whatever you wanted to say, and then you can send it again and they'll never know any different. So super nice to have. Outlook also has a web app. So if you go to outlook.office365.com, use your Microsoft account to get signed in. This is a nice feature to have. So if you're, let's say that you're using your computer from home and you need to be able to get to your Outlook email for your business, you can go on your computer, use any browser, just go to that website and get signed in, and you're able to access your email that way. Auto archive. So of course, archiving is important. So it's nice that you can tell it however often you want to archive your messages, especially if you're using a server. That way you can kind of maintain whatever space that you have on your server, and you don't have to worry about a bunch of old emails cluttering up everything on the server. So you can archive it to the cloud, and that makes it a lot easier. Use a focused inbox. So this is going to be in the mobile app that by default, it's got it set that it's got the focused inbox, and then it's also got like the other section that it kind of picks up on all the different ads that you might get. So of course, as it gets to know you, it's going to make recommendations, and it's going to figure out, oh, you don't want this in the focused, I'm going to put this in the other box. But then when you go into your Outlook app on your computer, it's going to have everything in there. You can also customize your swipe options. So depending however you want it set up, if you just go to your Outlook mobile settings and then select swipe options, you can tell it, if I swipe right, I want this option to appear. If I swipe left, I want this option to appear. And you can do that with delete, mark as read, mark as unread, flag, or archive. So I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Or anything you want to share?
Yeah, Peggy. My big issue is not so much through it, but trying some of the add-ons to work with Microsoft. It seems like I'm always like trying to download something that then all of a sudden won't work for me. Like, what is it that I have really wanted to try and download is iPlan Pro onto my Microsoft Outlook, and I can't seem to get there from here.
Okay. We might have to talk about that after the webinar. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, then we can dig into what's going on there a little bit more. It is nice to have those plugins available. We have like our team set up and our security awareness. It's nice to have and be able to use them together.
Oh yeah, and then I have to figure out how to make sure that my Teams doesn't get stopped by my virus software.
Okay. Yeah, we can look at that too. Okay. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. And on November 18th, we're going to talk about Microsoft Edge. So thank you, and I hope everybody has a great day.
Thank you.